Hello, welcome back to the channel. Quick question before we start. What do you get if you cross an industry-leading audio engineer and a ham radio enthusiast? Well, this guy, the amazing Bob Heil. And unfortunately Bob is no longer with us, however his legacy lives on at the Heil Sound and Heil Ham Radio family. And today we're going to be looking at this, which is the Heil PR781 dynamic microphone. Nicknamed the darling of broadcast microphones for very good reasons that we will get into during this video. And for absolute transparency, this PR781 and also a Heil Pro 7 headset were sent to me by Heil Ham Radio for use in this and a future video. There may or may not be some links in the description as to where you can get these from at a discount, and also at the same time help to support the channel. Haven't worked that bit out yet, but I will update you before the video actually gets released. So the PR781 is an evolution of an original PR780. That was a microphone that was designed by Bob Heil specifically for ICOM radios. And before we get into the technical specifications of what makes the PR781 so exceptional, let's do the traditional YouTube thing of having a look inside the box and seeing what you get. So, as you can see, the box is nicely designed. It's a cardboard box, so it's eco-friendly, and inside we have some packing wrap containing a lovely protective flight bag. We also have a data sheet, which we'll cover a little bit later, and a lovely Heil Ham Radio sticker. And I think at this point I was about to nonchalantly throw the box over my shoulder like I'd seen done in other videos, but suddenly remembered I'm actually a ham, and we keep the boxes for everything in pristine condition, so I can't quite carefully put that to one side. Inside the bag, we have the PR781 itself, and let me tell you, this thing weighs a lot more than you'd expect. It screams quality. The connection for the microphone is, as you'd expect, a balanced XLR, standard fitment to all professional audio equipment. Finally, in the bag, we also have the mic mount, which is a cast metal mount actually, and it's extremely well made, and there's no chance of it coming loose or moving once it's tightened up. The mount also has an adapter for different sized boom threads. Now, I suppose you could use a shock mount on this microphone if that's your prerogative, but personally I've not bothered, and it all works perfectly well. So when it comes to actually connecting the PR781 to your transceiver, you're going to need the appropriate Heil CC1XLR lead. It's easy enough to find using the compatibility tool on the Heil Ham Radio website, link in the description. Just enter the mic model and your radio model, and it'll tell exactly which variant of lead you're going to need. The lead itself, as you can see, has an XLR on one end to connect to the microphone, and at the other end you have your connection for your radio. In my case it's the standard RJ45 for the Yaesu, and also a handy 1/4 inch breakout as well. That's for your push to talk hand switch or foot switch, whichever you prefer to use. The microphone is an end-fed cardioid design, which simply means that you talk into the end here, and it's designed to reject noise from the sides and also the rear. In fact, there's 40 decibels of rejection at the rear of the mic, so if I turn this mic 180 degrees away from me and continue talking, I'll suddenly disappear. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. There you go. So that's what 40 dB of rejection sounds like. And just a quick aside, if you use a lot of compression in your audio, remember that it'll reduce the effect of the rear rejection. Compression effectively loudens the quiet sounds and reduces the loud sounds to make a flatter volume level across your recording or your transmission. And it's the loudening of the quiet sounds that basically stopping the rear rejection from doing its job it was designed to do. Okay, so for this next part I'm going to put my earphones on just so that I can hear the audio, because I'm going to demonstrate something and I'll probably forget to take them off, so I'll apologise for that in advance. Anyway, here we go. Now, it's suggested that you have the mic between 2 and 4 inches from your mouth and set your gain based on that distance. If you're too far away, you're going to need to crank that gain up, and you're going to start to hear the room noise, fans whirring, toilets flushing, cats meowing, all that sort of stuff. You don't need to worry about a pop filter or a screen or a foam on the end of this mic, as all of that's taken care of internally. However, you could add one if you really wanted to. So why is the PR781 so special to us as amateur radio operators? To understand it fully, we need to remember that as amateur radio operators we have a very limited bandwidth to our voice transmissions. On SSB we have around 3 kHz compared to the commercial broadcast stations, which can have up to 200 kHz of bandwidth. As I'm talking to you now, I'm using a high bandwidth and you can hear the audio is clear, full, and you can hear the highs, lows and all the details in the audio. However, if I switch to a narrow bandwidth similar to the space we as amateur radio operators have, suddenly the audio is muffled and all of the articulation has disappeared and I become difficult to understand generally. Honestly, it just sounds awful. That's enough of that. Right, so we know that our 3 kHz amateur radio bandwidth makes the audio sound terrible, and if you watched my ultimate audio setup guide, you'll know that I can make some changes to make the most of what we have by adding some EQ. And for those who haven't watched that video, I'll give you the highlights. So Bob Heil knew from his work researching the Bell Scientist studies that the most articulate and easily understood parts of our voices happen at around the 2.5 kHz frequencies. This is the part of the audio spectrum where we're most articulate. Those plosive sounds, the P's, the B's, the T's, the D's, the K's and the G's are the most prominent, and where we really need to focus our audio to be heard above the band noise, the QSB, the QRM, and really stand out in a pile-up. In my audio tutorial video, everything I said was entirely based on everything that I learned from watching Bob Heil's presentations. Kill off that bass, it's no good to us and it's just a waste of power. Roll off those midtones and boost those 2.5 kHz frequencies as much as you can. Back to the PR781 then. It's got a massive dynamic element taken straight from the Heil Sound Studio series microphones, but with a slightly narrower frequency response of 15 Hz to 16 kHz. It's got a 2.5 decibel lift in those vitally important 2.5 kHz tones. Basically, Bob Heil built the perfect microphone for amateur radio. Bob's designs for the original PR70 and the PR781 were exclusively for ham radio use, and as the original marketing said, it's an elite microphone for elite transceivers. But even so, the 781's become popular amongst podcasters and musicians due to those bright tones afforded by that 2.5 kHz lift. And I could wax lyrical for hours and hours about just how bloody good this thing is really, but the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. So let's have a listen to some snippets of my recent streams using this PR781. And by the way, all of the comments that you're about to hear are completely unsolicited from the other operators. Jeremy, I believe that is. Am I correct with that? It's Jeremy M7GTP.
Yes, you are correct there, Matt. Thanks for picking me up. I'm currently using Station Master Pro, and I saw you were calling CQ, so I thought I'd drop down on the band and say hello there. You're a beautiful signal. You're 5.9 plus 28, but you're storming into 7.7 with no covering at all, and fantastic audio level.
Station ending November Oscar.
Mike 7 Oscar, November Oscar.
There you go, Mike 7 Oscar November Oscar. Martin, good evening to you. I'll give you a signal report on you next over. The name here is Matt, Mike Alpha Tango Tango, located in Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire, over.
Yeah, Roger, Matt. You're a 5.9 plus 10 over into crew this afternoon. And audio, lovely audio, by the way. Back to you, my friend.
No, thanks very much, Martin. You're...
This is Mike Whiskey 7 Echo Romeo Papa.
Mike, Whiskey 7, Echo, Romeo, Papa, Thomas, first contact. Going to keep it fairly brief because there's a few people calling, but the name here is Matt, Mike, Alpha, Tango, Tango, and I'm in Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire, and you're about 5'8" this evening, over.
Mike Whiskey 7, Echo, Romeo, Papa. Hi, Matt, I'll settle for that one. I'm only using 25 watts. You're coming in 10 over. Absolutely lovely signal, and I got to say, excellent quality, audio quality, lovely tonal quality to your signal. I think you should consider doing audiobooks first. Mike Whiskey 7 Echo Romeo Papa.
And you're a 5'9" this afternoon, over.
Yeah, Mike 7 Victor Corbett 7 Hi Matt, my name's Dale, Delta Alpha Lima Echo Dale. I'm just about to run the band and heard you putting a call out, so rude not to say hi and respond. You've got a lovely signal down to the West Country. QTH is in the county of Devon, near the city of Plymouth there by the coast. You're 5'9", but you've got lovely audio as well there, so interested in your setup there, Matt. Back to you.
So that's it. This is the Heil PR781 microphone, and I absolutely love it, and I think you would too. It's my recommendation. If you want a studio style microphone for your QTH, then this is the one that I would go for. And you know, Christmas is just around the corner, so that's what I'd be asking for if I were you. Thank you so much for watching the video. The next video that's coming out is going to be the Pro 7 headset from Heil Ham Radio, something which I'm sure you've all seen, but I'm going to go, like this video, into a little bit of a deeper dive and just explore what that's actually capable of. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can like the video, you can leave a comment, and if you really want to, you can subscribe as well. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Heil PR781. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.